Scamnesty returns. That's the focus of tonight's angle. As predictable as mosquito bites in summer, the pro-amnesty lobby is banging the drums again. And this time the effort is led by one of the most unappealing figures in the House GOP.
Human dignity is one of the 7 pillars of American conservatism. For that reason, Mr. President, the eye of history is upon us. Some of the most shameful moments in our past as a country relates to how we have treated immigrants who are not criminals. And we are in one of those moments. If we get this wrong, future generations will pay the price in shame.
If you get this wrong, you have no dignity. So insulting. Now, she was joined by these House Republican members, Mike Lawler, David Valadao, Dan Newhouse, Mike Kelly, Brian Fitzpatrick, Gabe Evans, Marlon Stutzman, Don Bacon, he's retiring, and Young Kim. And on the other side, a gaggle of radicals in the Democrat Party. Now, I got a clue for you, and this is to the GOP. If you're on the same side of an issue as the open borders fanatic Congressman Salud Carbajal, you know, that guy who fed info about an ICE staffer to a wild mob? Well, you probably need to rethink your alliances. Now, at one point, Maria Salazar unwittingly refuted her own kind of underlying point that millions of illegals deserve a pathway to legal status because they're already integrated into American life. Otherwise, who do you think she's talking to here?
Pero todavía dentro de este país tenemos millones y millones de personas que por años han trabajado en la construcción, en los hoteles, en los campos, en la lechería, en la pesca, en los mataderos. Serán indocumentados, pero no son delincuentes. Son seres humanos que son invisibles para muchos estadounidenses que no lo conocen, pero sin ellos en los campos no vamos a tener comida al final de esta semana.
Where were these calls for dignidad, dignity, and for compassion when millions of American workers were displaced by cheap foreign labor or had their jobs offshored? Now, the idea, by the way, that Americans can't or don't work in one of these sectors is one of the most insidious and insulting lies the amnesty fanatics love to sell. In my family, 1970s, our jobs were critical to help paying bills and giving us experience. My mom was a waitress for 25-plus years. My brother picked tobacco. We delivered papers. Other brothers were busboys. We did neighbors' lawns. We worked in fast food. We helped with neighbors' child care and picked blueberries. So dignity, Senora Salazar, is what American workers used to have who supported their families by building houses, working in convalescent homes, restaurants, running family landscaping businesses, and the list goes on. But let's face it, the Chamber of Commerce Republicans love turning the tables on our workers in these industries to drive down wages in a marketplace distorted by desperate illegal aliens. It's sickening. So does Salazar's gang of 20, do they not remember the ghost of amnesty's past?
What I've just described is not amnesty. It is a way for those who have broken the law to pay their debt to society and demonstrate the character that makes a good citizen.
Call it amnesty. Call it a banana if you want to. But the fact is that it is earned citizenship.
If you're here illegally, not knowing if the next knock on the door is somebody coming to take you and your family away.
We came up with a bill. Doesn't have everything in it I wanted. Doesn't have everything in it my Democratic colleagues wanted.
And what happened in every single case? The Bush amnesty effort failed. The DACA amnesty failed. Rubio, the Gang of Eight bill, well, that failed. He ultimately walked away from it. The last effort, the Lankford bill, was so bad they didn't release its terms, until 48 hours before the vote. And it would have allowed up to 5,000 illegal aliens into the country every day. And then some illegals would be given automatic work permits, at least the ones that were asylum seekers, and that's most of them. It was a magnet for more illegal immigration. Voters, people saw right through it. The immigration bill went down in flames after the voters rose up in each occasion. They flooded the phone lines. They emailed. And you know what they really said? Don't even think about it. They're also saying, we don't trust you. We don't believe any of your pro-amnesty arguments because we've heard them all before. They'll pay fines. We're going to verify they've been here for 5 years. We'll look at electric bills and see that they... Now, even if fines were paid and you know the exceptions will swallow the rule, it's still amnesty, and it's still wrong. Millions have come here legally, proudly, and they've taken the oath of citizenship. And those are the types of people we want as our fellow citizens. But right now, Trump's border policies are working. Deportations are picking up, albeit they're nowhere near as fast as they should, but that's going to change. But it's not nothing. There's a lot of people gone. A lot of really bad people are on their way out. And the no exceptions approach sends a strong message to the cheap labor lobby and the cartels and to anyone thinking of coming here illegally. You'll never be right with the law if you come here and break the rules. We're shutting you down, so don't even try.
10 Republicans signed on to what she's calling the Dignity Act. I'm curious what the White House's position is on the legislation and if the president would veto this bill if it made it to its desk.
From my understanding, the White House nor the president has actually read through this legislation, but the president has made it very clear he will not support amnesty for illegal aliens in any way.
Trump supporting any type of amnesty would be the biggest betrayal to his movement and to the MAGA base, and he would never do it. I could not imagine it. He's too smart for that. His tough approach to immigration, sticking with what he started with, America First, is a big part of the reason he won. So any Republican, I mean any Republican who doesn't get on board should go into a different line of work. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.